right, so now you have got all your rough drafts in your slideshow, and it should be pretty much blank. I've got a couple with colors on them here still. But you need to spend some time going through and revising and editing and making your writing a final draft quality before we start decorating and adding backgrounds and themes. So please take time to go through every single slide, read what you've written, make sure the punctuation is correct, make sure there's a space after each punctuation mark, make sure you've used complete sentences, and that you've met the standard for grading for each of the slides, because before you start decorating it, you want to make sure that it's going to receive a nice grade. So when you're ready, let me know that you're ready to start adding backgrounds and themes and things like that, and I'll clear you to go ahead and do that. So we're going to start with backgrounds and themes. So backgrounds are just changing the background of one single slide, and there's a few ways to do it. You can see here it says change the background when you're on a slide. Notice if you're in a text box working, you have a different set of menu items here. You have all the font and text items. So to get the background, you need to click on the background so you're not in any text box. The other way to change the background is to two-finger tap, which is right-click, and you hover over change background here. And yet there's a third way. You can go to slide and change background. All three of those do the same thing. They allow you to change the background to a specific color. Let's say I want like this nice purple. And then you can click done. You can see my background is purple now. If you don't like that, you can undo it very easily. Or this is pretty cool. You can change the background and you can add an image. I prefer that you go ahead and use, it will default to this upload. Come over here to search. I really want you to use a Google search embedded in the tool here, because this is very important. It says results shown are labeled for commercial reuse with modification. That means that the images given to you have the correct permission, that you can legally use them in your presentation without breaking any kind of copyright laws. So the book I read is called The Pinballs. So I'm going to look for a pinball machine and put in the background of my slide. And this one's cool because it's kind of a close-up of a pinball machine. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to click done. And you can see that it puts that cool picture back there. However, now you can't read anything that I've typed. So if you're going to put a cool dynamic image like that, you need to help your text boxes out a bit. So I'm going to click on this text box that has all my information on it. And I'm going to just come up here to the color fill color tool. And I'm going to fill that box with some color. Let's pick a nice yellow because I see some yellow back here. So I'm going to pick a yellow, kind of an orangey yellow. And now it's sort of blocking my picture, which is kind of a bummer. So I'm going to come back to fill color and I'm going to make it somewhat transparent. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. You can come back up here to fill color and go to custom. And then you can fade the transparency down a bit so that it's going to be orange, but sort of see-through. So I can see the background behind it through. Now it's still hard to read. So I'm going to select all of this and I'm going to make it bold. And I'm going to make the font now maybe like a white so that it's easier to read. And let's see if that's easier to read or not. Let's see. Still not great. So I'm going to come back into my text box. I'm going to make it a little bit less transparent. Again, custom. I'm going to make it a little bit more orange, less see-through. And let's check it out now. It's looking better. The title, however, is still really hard to read, the title and the author. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same kind of things to those. I'm going to make them the text color white. I'm going to make them bold. And maybe I don't like that font. I'm going to pick a more kind of fun font. I like this one. And that's much better. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of shrink my text box down a bit because I want to add a fill color to that so that it stands out on that pinball machine. I think that white will look good if there's sort of a gray or a black fill color. So I'm going to pick a gray and I'm going to go ahead and make it somewhat transparent so that I can see the pinball machine behind it through. Let's check that out. Nope, too transparent. Doesn't stand out enough. So I'm going to go to custom, make it a little bit less transparent. You just got to keep playing with it till you get the effect that you're looking for. Make the box a little bigger so the words all fit. And then this one, you guessed it, needs a color behind it. Maybe I'll leave that one the whole way and I'll make that maybe like a white. and make it somewhat transparent by going to custom. So you pick the color first, then you choose the transparency level. Sort of see-through, and I kind of like the look of that. Now down here, notice my text box is not big enough, so those last little words did not fit in the text box. So I'm going to enlarge my text box so that all the words are in it. Here's my reading level, hard to read. So I'm going to shrink the text box to the size of this kind of black background item that's centered. And then I'm going to make that one, I kind of like this white, like this one here. Shrink that up a bit. Oops. And shrink it. Go ahead and play with this as much as you want to make it the way that you like it. I'm trying to make it even on both sides. That looks better. Okay, let's fix this one now. Let's make this one fill color. I like that look of that white one that's sort of see-through. So I'm going to come here and go to custom. And I'm going to make it a little bit transparent, but not too much. And now we have a slide that's easier to read. When I go to present, you can see that the font is easier to read and it has an interactive, kind of really cool looking background. When I look at this, it's still a little hard to read, so I might go ahead and make that orange even less transparent. Or you can play with it and try making the font black. Let's see if that changes things. Let's see if that makes it easier to read. Let's go with the black and present that. That is looking actually quite a bit better. So you just really need to play with the backgrounds, the colors. Yeah, that is really nice and easy to read. And I can see all the information that you're being graded on here. I like this font. I might make it not bold, see if that helps it not blend so much, how the letters kind of blend together. So you just got to kind of play with the formatting of it. If I make unbold, oh yeah, that looks really nice. So check it out. Here's my Pinballs cover slide with a background that I added. I'll talk to you about themes in the next video if you want to try a few themes. And let me see if I can stop recording now.